Hello, and welcome back to Exalt-This, the only creator-refined podcast discussing all things hollow and sacred. As always, I'm your host, Garfin Davies, and boy, howdy, do we have a treat for you all today. You thought he died tragically after turning into a big armed monster and confronting that overrated, no-tailed void hunter, Miabland, but I'm here to tell you, folks, when their creator refines, they refine. Ladies and gentlemen, and sacrifices of all sorts, please bring your hands together for today's special guest, Bringer. We tried to get Sarah, but she stopped returning my calls. Bringer, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Great. my bench PR really went up on one side.
Yeah, what's it like living with one arm really, really big, like that one episode of SpongeBob?
Well, it's some good, some bad. I can't grab a glass with this one hand, but you don't need it because I've been refined to drink ether or mether, as I call it, because it's just for me.
It's just for you. I've heard it called that, absolutely.
No. Trademarked. No. You can't use that.
I can't.
I used it.
Jeremy, cut that from the podcast, please. Jeremy, cut it. Okay. So what have you been up to?
What kind of slapdash organization are you running here? Come inviting me on, stealing my trademarks. I would never take credit for someone else's work. That is despicable. I am an honorable, upright man of the law, /was, now that I work for the creator. They're the law.
They're the law. How do you feel about PubSec kind of getting attention again after all these years?
Look, they're only where they're at because of me. So now that I'm gone, I can only imagine all the attention is how much they suck.
Yep,
especially
clearly.
Zhu Yuan, always sticking her nose into places it's not supposed to be. Just stay at the post where I tell you. Don't go off exploring all on your own with your little robot sidekick. It's ridiculous.
Just a little rabble-rouser hanging out with Miyabi.
Yeah, not like Cecilia. She's good. She never takes any chances. I hand her a bag of potato chips and she just sits there.
Yeah, I actually heard her telling me that she calls those flat potato eggs, and she was just demolishing them.
Look, she's not the brightest spoon in the drawer, but she's very gullible, and that's what I lack in a subordinate.
So what are your plans now, Bringer? I know
there's a lot and utter destruction of New Eridu.
Okay. You know what? I should have known that was coming. That's what we've had 14 guests on the podcast so far, and that's pretty much been their response every single time.
That is the only thing I can think of when the creator says they are going to fix things. They clearly mean by killing everyone. If everyone's dead, it's perfect.
Everything's fine.
I believe the term is a clean slate.
That's right. And I heard on the grapevine that part of being clean slate is the only thing you want to do is listen to this podcast, Exalt-This, where we'll bring you everything you need to know about the creator's wonderful machinations and plans. And also, Sarah, please return my calls. It's important.
Hey, she actually gave me a message. She said it's kind of creepy. You're being really needy right now.
14 calls an hour is not creepy. 15's the cutoff.
I'm not supposed to tell you this, but you're the first one she's going to clean slate.
She's got me dog tagged.
Look, all I'm saying is maybe have someone else start your car for a couple days.
Okay. Hey, Bringer, can you do me a favor? I have a number I need you to call real quick. If you could just... Here, I'll put it in the chat. You can just call that number real quick. It's Sarah. Tell her I need to talk to her. Tell her I have her socks.
Why do you have her socks?
It's not a weird thing. I just have her socks. I'm keeping the socks. I mean, she can have them back if she returns my calls.
Okay. It's been great.
Yep. That's all the time we have left today on Exalt-This. Come back in for our next episode in 3 weeks. And we'll be talking about how you can use hollows to clean your skin and face. Until next time,
Stay refined.
Stay refined. I've been Garfin Davies.
I'm Bringer.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Bringer. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
How are you?
Thanks for the heads up that I was going to be pretending to be Bringer.
I gave you no heads up. Here's the thing. I know what day it is that we're recording this podcast.
April 2nd.
It is not April 2nd. It is April 1st. And I know if I don't get ahead of it, you're going to make this an unlistenable nightmare with your April Fool shenanigans.
Eric, I am committed to putting out quality entertainment.
Yes, clearly.
Week after week.
Every 2 weeks, you only get the best from 6th Street Underground. A Zenless Zone Zero podcast where we discuss all things ZZZ. I'm not even going to ask you, Brian, if you rolled for Nangong. I'm just going to ask you how you feel about the trio, because I think you have all of them at this point.
Is this the part where you clip in me saying I'm not rolling for any of them?
I'm going to have to find it somewhere. Oh.
But it has definitely almost 100% solidified that I will be skipping over the K-pop angels.
Yeah.
Because so far, I am still not enthralled with them, and my bank account is hurting. Well, my
pretty rough.
Free currency bank account is hurting. And so there might have to be a little bit of a timeout. I will be skipping over the K-pop angels.
I did get Nangong.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I'm not good at using them, but I am not in love with the trio. Like, okay. I like all of the extra that they did is cool. Like, they are very fun. They've, like... But
the dances.
Honestly, I don't use that. Like, I've run that Hollow Zero with him a couple times, and it felt rougher than like
interesting.
And I mean, fully, I'm. It's probably partially because I have no idea what I'm doing with them.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I was like, I would rather like piecemeal them out to other teams, and they feel better. Like. Sana can just go hang out with Yi Zhuang and just, supercharge her. Nangong, if I can ever figure out how to actually make her do the things I think she should be doing, she can go with other people. And then Arya, I think, currently I don't have a need for Arya.
Okay.
Presumably she's good, but I don't know. Gameplay-wise, they're not doing it for me.
It's interesting. I've definitely felt friction getting Nangong to work for me. I think I've mostly figured her out, but she plays very different from like all the other stunners that we have right now.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more cognitive load to be like managing her while also managing other characters. We'll break her down a little bit because I took some notes, and also I think we've seen the same question come up 5 times on Discord about being like, okay, somebody break this down because they gave us a 600 plus word skill description for Nangong. What am I supposed to be doing with her? Hey, MiHoYo, it's too long. That one's too long.
Yeah.
Cut it down. We can change this.
Especially for how, like you said, once you break it down, it's so much more simple, but they used way too many words to describe.
Yeah.
What
it's
she
4
did.
bullet points. But like it's that thing we talked about, I think, earlier on this podcast, where like either you turn everything into just what the skill, like the button is. So instead of using the name of the skill, you just say hold EX, ultimate, whatever. And I think that would be better because like it would just be a little bit easier to follow. But we've reached this point now where we have not just anomaly, we have like disorder and abloom and
Ether veil.
Polarity disorder and ether veil and all these other mechanics that interact with each other to make a very strong and very interesting kit, but make it really hard to understand just what the heck I'm actually supposed to be doing. I did roll for Nangong. The Nangong is my first of the idols that I picked up, and I got both her and her W engine.
Oh.
Her W engine is, and I'm afraid to say this on the podcast because I don't want it to encourage people to do things recklessly. It is even more like foundational for her kit than Trigger's W engine is for what it offers the team, because she's a stunner that scales off of a non-traditional stunner stat. So right now there's only one W engine that has anomaly mastery as its core stat. And it just straight up gives your team, it's like a team-wide, just massive team-wide buff to get it. So I went for it knowing full well that I am now in a deep emotional conflict with myself over whether or not I roll for Sissia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because we also know Promea is coming. And we also know like version 3.0 is coming.
Bird
and
Girl.
We can talk about it later because Bird Girl is coming. And I don't need, same thing as Sissia. Do I need another electric attacker? No. Do I need another like ice on-field damage dealer? No. Do I want them? Yes.
Especially after playing the story,
do.
I really want Sissia.
I need to play the story still. I'm sure that's going to sell me immediately on her. So for this episode, y'all, if you've made it this far, we're not going to spoil the story because it hasn't been 2 weeks since it came out. We're going to talk about Nangong. We're going to talk about some other things going on in the game. We'll probably talk about the current, the big event going on, the Hotbot event, and just some other bits and pieces and minutia. So no story spoilers, but that's all coming down the pipeline. I want to talk about how you play Nangong, because it took me like many attempts at the new Deadly Assault that's out right now to actually figure out what I was supposed to be doing with her. You know? Especially when I was trying to figure out how to use her while also figuring out the new Wolf Boy boss that I really
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
Romuel.
I really like the Romuel fight. I am not good at the Romuel fight, who everyone online is just saying is like a Nangong test more than anything.
I only did him in the story. I haven't actually done him in Deadly Assault yet.
The Deadly Assault one is, you really need to be parrying his attacks. Like sometimes you can focus, like when we were playing Yesheng Wang, you can kind of ignore what the boss is doing and just do her rotation.
Yeah, because she has like so many iframes, like Miyabi.
She's invincible all the time. And so like you can ignore the yellow flashes, whatever, and do fine. With the way this new like shield mechanic works on Romuel, you cannot ignore his mechanic. It is now a boss focused versus character focused approach to combat, which I think is good. Because there's been a lot of complaints from people about like Yesheng Wang is very powerful, but it doesn't feel like you're playing Zenless Zone Zero. It feels like you're playing Yesheng Wang. You know?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I mean, she does basically ignore, with the exception of Isolde. The Isolde fight is another one that's a boss focus where like you have to play the boss.
Isolde, you play the boss. Especially Yesheng Wang, now that you can run Sana with her as well, where like you're always in alt form and just going to town. This boss, like really to get rid of that shield, you have to be doing all the parries and blocks. He's also another boss that opens the fight up with a one of the purple flash attack strings. Whatever they're called. Control skill, with the control skill. I find his easier to parry than Vesper's just because it's faster.
Okay.
Like there's not as much of that like Elden Ring style, like the attack hangs in the air and then swings down.
The Expedition 33 of like, I'm gonna am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do it?
The stutter attack. Like I already panicked, hit the button. But Nangong has a million buffs. She has a meter that fills over time. It just, you don't have to worry about it. It fills up over time, up to two bars and then some extra things on it. It fills faster if a party member inflicts anomaly, which is just essentially saying play the rest of your team, use her on an anomaly team, profit. Outside of a stun window, you want her meter to be full, and then you can use either her EX special or her ultimate, and that shortcuts you to like the charge attack mechanic that is core to her kit. She's got this like charge attack that she can do. If you do it after an EX special or ultimate, it skips the first one. You just hold down basic attack until she does 2 bounces. Profit. When she does those bounces, she buffs your party by a lot. Like, it's a 25% team-wide damage buff that lasts for 30 seconds, which is a long. It's like 1/4 of an entire like Deadly Assault round is just buffed from her if you use that ability. So you want to use that before the buff window starts. So at this point, all we know you need to do is, if she has a full meter, hold EX special, hit EX special or ultimate, and then hold attack to buff everybody. When a stun starts, if the enemy has an anomaly and you swap to her, she does an attack that triggers a polarity disorder, which gives you a quick assist back to your DPS. You can do it twice per stun window.
Oh, that's okay. So that's how you do it. Because I couldn't figure out how I was triggering it randomly. So
these big explosions.
If they're stunned, you hit EX, and then it jumps back to your anomaly.
Yeah, if they're stunned and you've triggered an anomaly, which you probably have if you're on an anomaly team, swap to her and then take the free swap back. She does big damage.
Okay.
That I think that includes during like the rainbow bar stun window.
Yeah, before they've actually broken or whatever
And that one is really nice. During a stun, anybody on your team inflicting an anomaly, an A-bloom, or a disorder will build up to 4 stacks of a really powerful attack from her. You don't have to worry about it because it either triggers when you get 4 stacks or it triggers when the stun window ends. It's just a big explosion. You don't have to care.
Okay.
So just do things. What it really does, a lot of her is actually your team building. Are you putting her on a team that can do a lot of anomalies? Or are you putting on a team that can trigger lots of A-blooms or disorders? So she actually plays really nicely with Yanagi because Yanagi has a built-in disorder stacking feature with her hold EX special. Builds up that stack, she explodes, you're good. It sounds more complicated than it is, but it's not that bad. It just means you kind of want to do some quick swaps to her during a stun window, which usually during a stun window, you wouldn't want to go to your stunner, period. That's kind of it. It's what she does. There's other things she does if you're playing her on Arya's team as well, but really just kind of enhances the things they're already doing. That's it. That's Nangong.
Oh,
in a nutshell.
Right. So in the Discord, you posted that you do EX, hold basic 2, and then hold basic 3.
Yes.
But you didn't cover that.
Yeah, so that's just like if you've got her full meter, you'll see the meters chunked into like 2 big bars and 2 little circles.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 big bars, that's her like buff the team, do a big dash, a big slam attack meter. Hold EX or hold attack 1 doesn't use the meter. Hold attack 2 uses 1 bar. Hold attack 3 uses the other bar. You need that thing to be full.
So what you're saying is literally like Barney style is you hit EX, you hold basic until she's out of bar.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
And I think somewhere within that hold EX till she's out of bar, you can switch off of her and she'll continue to do that while you switch to a different character. I did not get the chance to double check before we recorded. Somebody tell me in the Discord if you can swap off during hold 2 or if you have to wait till hold 3 starts before you switch out. That's it. So really, leave her off field until she has ultimate or EX special and some meter. Use the meter. It buffs everybody. Keep doing damage with your DPS. And stun window. Pop off. Switch to her a couple of times. One of the things that I mentioned in Discord that I thought was a really neat feature for her, I'm finally deciding to learn how to do chain cancels instead of just doing a full chain attack every time the stun window opens up. Brian, do you know what I'm talking about when I say about chain cancels?
No.
Okay, so
I mean, I can figure out what it means, but
yeah. When you trigger a stun for the first time, you get the meter to 100 and it turns all rainbowy. Hitting with a strong attack, which is usually either part of your attack chain or like an EX special, initiates the chain. And I'm pretending that you don't have manual chain attacks on because that makes it a little bit different, but whatever. When you do that, you get the little, like the time slows down. You can pick which 2 characters to switch to. You switch to one and they do big damage. What you can do then instead of going like, and they do their thing and then it props up, who do you want to go to next? Instead of picking someone to go next, you can cancel, switch to a different character, do another strong attack, and trigger another chain attack from your DPS. So usually, because the way teams are built, you have one character that does a lot of damage and like a stunner and a support who don't do much damage. It's actually a net gain damage-wise to not have all three use their cool chain attacks, but to instead, like, trigger stun from Nangong, switch to Miyabi, use Miyabi's chain attack. Cancel out of the chain attack, switch back to Nangong, do a strong attack, have Miyabi do another chain attack, and then you're in the stun window again. You get one fewer total chain attacks, but it's more damage overall.
How do you
Does that
cancel?
make sense so far? You hit, you just like when it comes up and the bar is decreasing down the middle, on controller, you hit X and you back out of it. On mobile, you just double tap the screen, not on one of those characters. I don't know what it is on PC, but there is a button you can push that says like just cancel instead of picking a character.
Ah, okay.
On PC, I think it defaults to middle mouse button, but you can also open your options and just change it to what you want. Or turn on manual mode, in which case if you just hold down attack or special, it won't trigger chain attack. So if you do that, like that's a way to get even more chain attacks if you're playing an Evelyn team. Because Evelyn really cares about chain attacks, is by chain canceling instead of doing a full chain attack. With Nangong, it's even more fun because after the first chain attack, you trigger stun with somebody, you switch. I'm going to say you're playing a Miyabi Nangong team because that's easy for me. Nangong starts the stun. You trigger the stun, you do Miyabi's chain attack, you cancel. Now you're just controlling Miyabi. If you switch back to Nangong, the enemy has an anomaly, so it auto-procs her polarity disorder explosion, which is a strong attack, which initiates a chain attack.
Oh, okay. So
it's
Nangong
really easy
auto
for her.
like does it, basically.
She automatically does it. Like just by switching to her, it just throws you right back into the chain attack. So start stun with Nangong, chain attack with Miyabi, cancel, switch to Nangong, chain attack with Miyabi. Now, Miyabi's on field. She's done big damage twice. Nangong's put at least one of those big buffs on everybody, and the enemy is stunned. And you can just really start leaning into that stun window where you pop off, do lots of damage. When you've got some downtime and you know that the enemy has an anomaly effect on them, you do another quick swap to Nangong. She does another explosion, which quick assists back to Miyabi. Keep doing damage. Profit. Same thing applies if you're playing like an Alice team, because Alice can do polarity disorder. Same thing for Yanagi. Pretty much any of these anomaly on-field characters, like that's going to work the same way. And what it's doing is Nangong's finally teaching me how to do these assists, right? Which is exciting and slightly disappointing because I like the animations of seeing all the characters do their cool things, you know? The first thing that I learned a while ago is that it's almost always a DPS loss to use your Bang Boo during a chain attack, so just don't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, just because
takes
they don't do
time.
that much damage. And
They don't do much time. And like if the timer paused during chain attacks, which personally I think it should, but it doesn't. If the timer paused, it would just be net gain. But because the timer is still running, not only... Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I do feel that too sometimes when like different people have longer ultimates than others, and I'm like, all right, pick up the pace.
Zhao using her ult is almost always a DPS loss because it takes such a long time before you can even switch out of her again, and it's not doing that much for your team. Same thing, like Lycon's great, but his chain attack is a long time. I think the worst offender is actually Rocket Boo. Rocket Boo, if you use Bang Boost during the chain attack, has a huge like animation that it does for like ultimately not that much damage, when that same amount of time could have just been spent on your DPS doing anything, building up meters, attacking, whatever. So if you're like doing Deadly Assault, if you're doing Shiyu Defense, and you're really trying to eke out as much damage as possible, those are some pretty easy techs you can do to do more damage that it takes some muscle memory to figure out, but like eventually it does get very comfortable.
Or you can do like I did. and I ran a Hollow Zero, and I forgot to equip a Bangbu, and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't allowed to do a Bangbu during my chain attack.
It's just not happening. What's going on?
And then I was really hoping they'd give me an achievement for being stupid.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. So you don't get any benefit for handicapping yourself.
I've been doing Hollow Zero and putting on 0 out of 12 modifiers when I do the run. Because apart from like the non-polychrome rewarding achievements, there's no real incentive, as far as I can tell, from running at higher difficulty each week.
Do you not need at least 4 to max out the bar in one run?
I don't think so. I haven't been. Maybe I'm missing out.
At one point in time, 4 was like the minimum you needed to clear.
Yeah,
but they may have changed it now. So
I'll double check when I run this week. Y'all don't follow me in case I'm wrong, but I've just been doing it easy mode because it's faster.
I've been doing similar. I've been running it at 4 because I thought that's like the minimum needed.
Yeah,
because there's been a couple times where like Hollow Zero is difficult enough now that it's not like an auto gain.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten like halfway through, and then I'm like, oh, my team's not going to cut it with like the disorders, and I'm like,
yeah,
Hollow Zero is just long enough, especially with the high. And I'm like, it's just
yeah,
because the biggest one that gets me is when putting on the like the 2.5 minute boss timer.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a team that's not like greatly built, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, I don't even turn them on. Like I don't even. What am I trying to say? I don't even turn that one on anymore because like I also forget what weaknesses the boss has, and I'm like, but I wanted to use Banyue for this run, and if there's a timer.
Well, yeah, especially like the most recent Hollow Zero, the mid boss is Miasma Priest, and I was running Miyabi, and I was like, they knew. I haven't seen Miasma Priest in a while. Well, although I think it's random bosses for the first 2 each node. It seems like it's only the last one that's determined. So,
yeah, I wish they would let us predict. It's really frustrating that they don't. For the bounty commission this week, I did 0 ether activity, and I got the full 8,000 out of 8,000.
Well, there you go. You heard it here, folks.
With one run.
You don't have to put any...
as many. You don't have to try, y'all. I'm not getting as many Shadow Crystal datas as I could, but I think that caps out anyways. It's fine.
Maybe that's what it is that like 4 is the max for Shadow Crystals or something.
Maybe. I don't know. Someone in the Discord who knows more than we do, let us know. Because I'm sure one of us. I'm probably wrong about something. Speaking of Deadly Assault and Shield Defense, my new game to play has been to see which of the 3 floors I can clear using the Sandby team, whether or not they're weak to electric, and then after that, figure out what else I want to do for the other 2 floors.
Look, I do that too. I think we're both in a point where we've invested so much into the Sandby team that she's like, especially on release Miyabi, where like you can basically as long as they don't have resistance
if they're
to
not resistant,
electric, then you can kind of power through. But yeah, God forbid whenever they give like especially like if they ever do Isolde in the Deadly Assault, it's over.
But at least Isolde is weak. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if they give one that's actually weak
when they give us one,
the Sandby team.
I used Sandby on Miasma Priest this time just for fun, and I was like, oh no, never mind, cleared it, no problem. And then I was making my other teams because I'll be honest with you, I was struggling a little bit to clear Sanguine Sweeper, just to clear Romuel. I couldn't find a team that would do it. And so I cleared Miasma Priest. I cleared Marionette. I did Marionette using the Yidhari Lycone team, Lucia. And then I did Sanguine Sweeper and realized after clearing all 3 that I forgot to put Dial In on a team. And I was like, oh, I could have made this so much easier.
Yeah.
Like I could have made this easier on myself if I kept saving Dial In for the hard one and then didn't use her at all. Anyways, that's the new game I'm having fun playing.
I have, especially like a Shield Defense, because I know some people are talking about that. I have also noticed that like there's one where like it's just Yixing Wang.
Mm-hmm.
She's just going to go in because she's so strong.
Yeah.
I do end up still relying on Miyabi a lot too because she's also really strong. So it does become like half the time it is the 2 Void Hunters and then whatever team and I do love this.
It's 3 Void Hunters.
Yeah. Like, Yixing Wang is great because if I'm running her with like the Sunna Zhao team,
yeah,
like she's taking 2 characters that weren't going on any other team anyway. So like,
yeah,
it's kind of the same thing with the Sanbi team. Like those 3 are going together or they're not going at all. So it really frees up your high demand like supports, or like frees up Dial In to go on that 13 or to leave her on the bench as Eric does.
Yeah, on accident. Listen, I do like, I know we've talked a lot about team building, and I think this is a good time for the arc of the game to talk about this. There are like multi-purpose general application role defining characters that are always worth investing in. So things like Dial In as like just for any team really. Lucia's good on every Rapture team.
Rupture.
Did I say Rapture?
You're thinking back to being the Exalt-This podcast.
Yeah, my bad. On Rupture teams, you've got what's her name? Yuzuha for pretty much every anomaly team. Right now, we have a really good like wheelchair anomaly setup of Yuzuha, Nangong, where if you have those 2, generally speaking, they can carry pretty much any on-field anomaly unit to victory. So you've got those characters that can go everywhere, and so the game for in-game becomes half about like, which team do I want to put everybody on? Where does this go? But then on the other side of the coin, it's very refreshing to be like you said, I know if I bring Sanbi, Trigger and Orphe come along, and I don't have to think about them because Trigger and Orphe aren't going with anybody else. It is just Sanbi that they're going to go with. So like that team is its own little unit. I can just plunk it in somewhere and not have to think about it. And it's not as much trying to like figure out, well, who gets Dial In this time or who gets Yuzuha, because we're back into the anomaly land with, it seems like, with the new characters and patches coming out and everything. So I like that. If you're trying to build out your account, those are the kind of different ways you think about. You can either go like multi-purpose, am I going to go everyone here, or is it like I'm building out one very strong team and then we'll move on? And I think like a old account like yours and mine has a balance of the 2, which gives you a lot more flexibility to be able to pick like, how do I approach different challenges? And it means that like, I actually think at this point I'm starting to like Shiyu defense. I'm liking the new Shiyu defense more than I thought I would. Because it does play a little different than Deadly Assault, where you're trying to really maximize your rotations and like get to these really high thresholds. The new Shiyu defense is kind of nice because it's like, just dump everything at the beginning. Like, it'll be okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just said a whole lot of words. I don't know if any of it made sense. But that's where I'm at. And I just looked up and Brian's not even in his chair. I think he left the room. I don't know.
I'm coming.
Yep. All right. Hey, bud. I'm done. We can talk about other stuff now. I'm curious to see if the characters that we have coming next, because we know Sissy is coming next, and we know
Promia
is coming next. Both of those, we kind of know their roles already. We know somewhat how they're going to play. I'm interested to see if Nangong and her incredibly detailed, really stacked kit is indicative of what to expect from most 3.0 characters, or if she's kind of an exception and things are going to kind of be a little bit less.
I don't know. I feel like even in 2.0, they've kind of had a balance between complex and simple characters.
Sure.
And like for a lot of them, I feel like they've done a good job of making them like 80% simple and then like 20% complex if you really, really want to like get the most out of them. Like Yidhari, like there's ways to like, you know, like force the big hit, but otherwise you can just kind of charge and whack until they just swing at you and then you whack them back.
Yeah.
Then you have people like Banyue who...
Banyue. It's very involved.
Very involved, and yeah. And then you have other people like a lot more off-fielders where they're like, show up, do something, like Yusaha, show up, hit EX, switch.
Just leave. But they have like really long kits because actually playing them is so simple. They need to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes or they wouldn't be worth rolling for.
Yeah.
So like that's why like Nangong and Yuzuha have like these crazy long kit descriptions, and they can do all these different things whenever you do one thing, or there's different, you're managing procs and parries and actions and things. I'm surprised we don't have a character yet who gives team-wide buffs or buffs themselves when your team dodges or parries attacks. Like, we've got little bits and pieces. I'm surprised there's not someone whose like core kit identity is.
I mean, and that could be because I was trying to think of what the next support will do.
Yeah,
because we've got a support for each of the different kinds of like attacks. You have Astra Yao for attackers. I mean, she works for everyone, but
for everybody, but Astra Yao.
Yeah. Then you have Yuzaha for anomaly and Lucia for Rapture, as Eric calls it.
Yeah. Get some Brits.
So yeah, I mean, I would love to see a Jane Doe support where they're just like everyone gets one extra dodge and you get bonuses. So Jane Doe is just flying all over the
unhittable. There's got to be something. I'm sure they'll play with it as we move on. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
The bigger thing is they clearly still don't know what role defenders have. Yeah. Because they created Xiao Xiao, and her role is to pop Ether Veil.
Yep.
Which is not very defendery.
Nope, it's not. She's not doing a lot of defending things. They added the new disk drive set for defenders. Yeah. Which seems like it's a roundabout way of giving defenders an identity, but really the identity that they're giving defenders is supporter light. Because that one's straight up like you just have to be a defense character, and when you use an EX special attack or anyone does what I just talked about, one of those assists, everyone in your party gets a stacking buff. So like that's really good to put on a defender, but it still doesn't give defenders an identity the way we kind of like know what to expect with an anomaly character or know what to expect with an attack character. I do like they keep adding new like niches for anomaly characters, because like you've got anomaly characters that care about disorder versus anomaly characters that care about A-bloom, right? Or ones that just straight up are about applying anomaly. And so like that's helped create niches within, or it could be used to create niches within that like anomaly umbrella. Looking at the artifact sets, it looks like Premia and Vivian. Who was like our umbrella. First Abloom.
Anomaly umbrella, okay. That's Vivian.
All right. Vivian, Yuzuha. There's the team that was Alice and her two umbrella wielders, so they were just keeping her shaded while they walked around in their bathing suits.
Yep.
The triple bathing suit team. It looks like Permea is going to care a lot about Abloom and triggering A-blooms. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We're spiraling the anomaly discussion, but I think that's because like we're in this place where things are good, but things are moving and like some identities are shifting.
We're also at the right before 3.0 where because they changed a lot in 2.0, so I'll be interested to see. I'm still curious to know if they do a makeover of New Eridu for 3.0 to make it more open.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. I mean, that'd be cool. This is tangential, but I think it connects. We talked about how excited we are to come back to 6th Street, and it has felt really nice to return back to 6th Street. I still find myself sometimes doing my daily routine of like checking my fortune, getting my coffee, and managing my store by going to Wi-Fi instead.
It's that faster. Much easier. It's faster.
Easier. It's faster. There's no animation for the coffee, which I love coffee animations, but there's no animation for coffee. You don't have to transfer to a different area by going inside a video store to do your video management. And How, the dog, there's no chance of there also being a social interaction tied to getting your daily ticket. So I don't have to like mash through a conversation with Soldier 11 or Billy after I get my lottery ticket.
Or having to go through a roundabout way to get to the ticket if you're on midnight.
Yes, and having to, please stop making me wake up, Hal. I don't want to do it anymore. I know it's fine. Just let me do it. I don't want to have to wake Hal up.
There is a way, if you fast travel, like if you go into the menu and fast travel to Hal, it will start you at the getting the lottery ticket. So it saves you but yeah, no, it and also I still do the temple since it's got on auto farm, and since 2.7 they did drop new things.
Yes.
So until they officially
to be managing your town, do your town management, y'all.
Speaking of which, remember when they kind of said that they were replacing the temple management with those artifacts, and then they were only present for the one patch, and then have never been brought up again?
Yeah, I do remember that, Brian. Like so many other mechanics that they've been like, let's try this. Nah, not this, and then like set them on the table again. I think they'll come back someday. I guess you could also just go to Golden Square to the town, like what's it called, the city, and
Lumina.
just do all your Lumina Square and do all of your dailies there. But I'm usually doing my dailies on my phone, and my phone disagrees a little bit more with Lumina Square than it does with other places. But enough complaining. Let's talk about Hot Pot.
Hot Pot.
Hot Pot. Have you done it?
Yes.
Have you done it? Did you finish it?
Yep. I finished it. It's okay. It's fun. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. The mini game itself is not overly complex. Basically, you figure out whether or not you're going for meat, vegetable, or mushrooms, and then you just fill your thing with that. Yeah. It's like a lot of the mini games, especially the first time they introduce them. It's a pretty basic, easy one, but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's a nice little game.
I've only done one, like the first 3 levels so far, but it seems like, and you've done it all, so you can maybe correct me, noodles are busted. Like, I'm easily scoring 3,000, 4,000 points around using noodles and then stuff that buffs up noodles.
Basically all of them get
cool.
Like they will all get, like, I ended up, I forget, I did one of the challenges and my high score was like over 100,000 points.
Jeez.
In one of the and I don't remember if it was noodles or meat, because all of them end up getting the like multiplicative. The basic stat is you get one that just buffs itself to have a really, really high like base score, and then you get a couple of the things that multiply someone's base score, and then you end up getting several thousand per,
and just stacks up.
Yeah, but all of them end up busted.
Cool.
It's like as you're going through the story too, like not all of them are getting upgrades at the same amount of time. Okay. So, but yeah, I mean,
follow the story.
Like for having played through it, like whatever you want to put in your hot pot, it cool. works. If you want to do noodles, if you want to do meat, if you want to do vegetables.
It feels almost like a board game you and I would play. Like if it was a little bit more rigorous or like balanced for longer play or competitive play, I should say. It feels like a board game of like the selections that you're making and like the decisions about what to keep versus what to get rid of and when to get certain things.
It kind of reminds me of, when you say it like that, kind of reminds me of Quacks of Quedlinburg.
I was thinking the same thing.
Where you're developing your own pot and then you're trying to just maximize your score.
Yeah, like without like some of the random elements of it. It's got that like half of the game is selection and then like the actual execution is not super complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, super complicated.
But I've enjoyed it. The story is cute.
Steven's a little brat, huh? He's a little bratty boy.
I mean, so spoiler alerts for people who haven't finished it. Yeah. It's not that big of a spoiler, but Blaze deserves it.
Okay.
She accidentally killed his pet Ratatouille.
Oh no. That would do it.
I mean, she didn't really do anything. The big reveal, like halfway through, is like he had a pet rat that he went around with, and then like Blaze had disinfected like the alleyway, and he walked through the alleyway, and the rat died.
Oh, okay.
But there's I won't spoil all of it, but there's a scene at the end, Eric, that you will absolutely love.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, and I think it is. Yeah, the story's kind of funny because the whole, you're trying to help Blaze out, and then they're like, Nangong, you don't know how to cook.
Fascinating.
But it's another one of those that it's nice. It's continuing this cycle of like doing a little bit of a victory lap of going back, reintroducing the characters, because you get Pubsec gets involved and Bellabog.
It starts off with Yonghui Summit too, so you get them in there.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that they're like making little efforts to make sure everyone still feels present.
Yeah. Also, Blaze is gunning for Sweetie's spot.
Blaze, I've only seen her a little bit. I love her. Blaze is great. She's exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, I really enjoy that they are developing like the NPCs too, and it's not just the player characters.
Interesting NPCs, because we got Cecilia, what's her name? The manager for the Angels.
Oh yes. I was thinking of the flower shop girl.
Oh,
Cordelia?
Oh man, what's her name?
Delilah?
Gardenia? Plant Mom?
My
wife.
But yeah, you got that. You've got General Chop. Still love General Chop.
General Chop's great. I like our coffee friend.
You have
is there more to the event than just the mini? I know sometimes these events have like
nope.
Other
I think there might be like one combat section that lasts like 3 fights.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, no, it's you've got the story missions, and then there's only 3 challenge levels, so they did not like load it up with a ton of challenge levels.
Okay. I'm okay with that. That's okay.
This patch is definitely like lighter, which is nice. Like the story is shorter for people who haven't played it yet.
Cool.
This one is not that overly long. So it's definitely like
that's
them
appreciated.
Like giving you something as you get ready for them to reveal everything that's coming in 3.0.
And it's I know like ultimately it ends up being the same amount per patch, but it's pretty generous with how much you get for each stage of doing things. Like I did the first 3 stages and got a good pile of polychromes just by playing through it.
Yeah.
So don't skip it, y'all. Make sure you do it. It is fun. It makes me very hungry for a hot pot, and I do want that very much right now.
And it comes with a free W engine.
And a free W engine, a stunner engine. I was hoping that would be a really good one for Nangong, and it might be, but it's more of a generic stunner W engine.
Yeah.
But we take a free engine.
Which I think is nice that they're giving, for these events, they're giving you good, like, generic ones instead of, like, hey, here's a free W engine, but it only goes with this premium character that isn't going to be reran for another 6 months.
Yeah, you're not going to get... I don't know what it is about this time of year, but I've seen a lot of people, like, on different online spaces who are brand new, not just to Zenless Zone Zero, but to gacha games, and are like, it's not fair that I really want this character and there's no way I can get her, and why can't I get it? And we're like, that's how banners work.
Like, I was like, yeah, that's how gachas have worked since their inception, is they have to give you the FOMO, otherwise you won't spend real money to get the character you want.
Oops, all FOMO.
Speaking of FOMO.
Go ahead. Yeah.
How quickly did you buy the deluxe pass for...
Man, I knew you were going to say something.
I looked at that and I was like, Eric bought it right after he bought the Sweetie one, and then they hit him with that one. They clocked him.
They got me bad. I haven't bought it yet, but that's because I'm going to use my Google Play points and redeem Google Play points to get it, because I will be buying it. It's phishing. It's not fair. Like, why would they do this to me?
I was like, it's just a cute fishing one. Like,
yeah.
They got him.
I'm worried now because like I'm either worried or I'm very excited that I will, after I buy this, won't have to buy another one because I'll already have the fishing one and we'll be good. But inevitably they'll be like, and the next one after this is based on knights, and I'll be like, no.
I will say them introducing the like cell phone screen, like our skins, was smart because before it was just a banner, and you're like, I don't really care.
I don't care about that.
I never even go to that menu. I know look at it. Now they're like, you will look at this though.
Yeah,
and
I have a C6 Soldier 11. That's always going to be my banner until I get somebody else. I do want fish skin for my phone. Yeah, I'm hoping that they eventually do the thing where like they've released enough that you can set like a randomized roulette. Of what your phone looks, which doesn't make any sense for a phone, but that's fine. Like, let me just do like a random phone each time I open it up.
We have magic eyes, Eric. I think we can switch phone skins.
Look with your magic eyes. Oh,
my
man.
phone.
My phone. So something I started doing that I wanted to share with you because I thought it was smart, and maybe you don't think it's smart. I have a lot of characters now, and I have characters in different degrees of like I feel like they're built or not quite built. What I did was, and I also realized that I had favorited like every character I had that was S rank, and it made the favorite menu useless.
Yes, mine.
So what I started doing was I favorite a character once I feel like I'm done building them. Full stop. Like they've hit all of the benchmarks that either the community spreadsheet or Pride Win or whatever else says. Like those numbers are good. I don't need to grind for them anymore. That's when I favorite them, so that when I sit there and go, okay, which disk drive should I be farming? I just look at somebody who doesn't have a star and farm for those disk drives. And it's
that's smart.
It's little, but it's made like my brain feel a lot better trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing.
And
I don't know the order.
They added the presets because like clearly they saw that. Yeah, because I started doing that. I started like starring everyone, and I'm like, okay, this is pointless because it's basically the only thing it's doing is keeping anyone who is level 60 but not actually built from like creeping into like the
I don't see
pool
them.
of usable characters.
All I've done is put everyone above Harumasa. So instead, I'll just like now I know where the characters are. I'll find them, but I can be like, okay. And I've been lazy. I haven't gone through all my characters to see if I have them there yet. But when I'm like, okay, let me farm for this one. All right, Nangong used good. She's done. She's starred. I don't need to grind those discs anymore.
That's smart because every once in a while, like characters from early on, I'll like look at them and I'll be like, oh, you still have like A rank disc drives because that was back when I was like desperate for every amount of currency, and so I was just like, this is good enough. I gotta get you going. Yeah,
what's up, A rank polar metal? I should probably replace that. But it also means like I had Zhao starred, and then they released the new disc set for Defenders that I think is better for her ultimately. So I unstarred her until I've got her rebuilt.
Is there any point in getting those new disc drives then?
I have not been farming.
Because you said that it's a DPS loss to use her ultimate.
So because of the way the disc drive, it doesn't it procs off her EX special as well.
No, I was making a joke because you said ultimately.
Yeah. All right. I can't. All right. That's it. The end of the podcast. It's done. We're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, no. You immediately were like, well, actually, and I'm like, no.
You're like, no.
This was a surface level pun.
Brian said the lowest hanging fruit's the most delicious.
That's why it's the forbidden fruit test.
Oh man. A couple more things before we wrap up. One, like I said earlier, I am waffling so hard on whether or not to roll for Sissia because I am in love with her character, even having not done the story yet. Like the design and like all the characterization they've done for her is top notch. I have no place on my account for Sissia.
It's even funnier because when you do the story and you actually play with Sissia, I'm like, she very much feels like another Yanagi. Great. Like she plays very similar to. I'm
hoping that she is a precursor to a character to come and not filling in a gap for people who have Sandby and Seed and want to use Seed with an electric attacker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try for her, I think, but I might not go hard, and I might pick her up on rerun once we know a little bit more about where she lives in the game. Which is really
the proxy's
challenging.
bedroom.
Because I love her. She's amazing. Her voice actor's done such a good job.
Oh god, yeah, she was top notch.
It's incredible. And then Premia's coming up, same thing. And then we haven't even mentioned it. Silly Billy's coming out.
Yes,
like they announced an S rank physical rupture Billy.
Billy the Stampede
is coming along. Starlight Knight Billy. I was going to say he's got like the big arm. It's very Trigun. Like even more Trigun now with Billy.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, that is 100% of Vash the Stampede character.
Oh yeah. So that's really cool. And I like that a lot. But also 3.0 is coming up. There's a lot coming out. It's a good time to be a ZZZ fan.
Yeah. And then that's, I mean, obviously they haven't teased them yet, but whatever character that they launch at 3.0 is probably going to be awesome too.
Probably going to be pretty legit. And that's really tough because, like, you know, we've got, there's at least one person in our Discord who has Mindscape 6 for all 3 of the Angels. Congratulations. That's awesome.
That's impressive.
That's commitment. Boy, are there a lot of other characters coming out.
But on the other hand, if you got a Mindscape 18 team, they're going to be able to clear a lot.
That wouldn't even be 18 because you have the 6 Mindscapes. So that's 18 plus 3 for the actual characters.
So that's Mindscape 21.
Then you probably got W engines for them. Minimum, you've got a 24 cost team. You don't have to worry about one part of Shiyu defense forever.
Yeah.
Like you're good. You're going to max out every single time. Congratulations to everybody who's big fans of the idols. I know there's been some conflict around like Nangong not getting her own story or her own narrative. I'm of the opinion that she kind of already got it because last story was all just Angels of Delusion. And like those 3, that's the other side of like this team being really connected is like their story is also really connected.
Yeah. I am curious. I haven't really done much with her like affection meter.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if her like personal story covers because I think the biggest thing is like you and I have had questions about like what is she actually an angel Thyron because she's like got wings bolted onto her back where she has these big scars.
Yeah. She has a halo, like an actual halo. I think they're really enjoying the mystery that is Nangong at this point. So I'm hoping we find out more. Maybe they will tie that more into the next version.
Yes.
Into version like the 3.0 story. I don't know. It doesn't seem like Nangong's somebody they're just gonna like drop and leave alone.
There's a character in the story in this patch's story.
Yeah.
That makes you wonder if they're going to be connected somehow.
I've seen pictures. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. So speaking of which, as we kind of wrap up here, our next episode, which is going to come out 2 weeks from now.
It's the 16th?
On the 16th?
I was like, the number is small enough I can just add 14 and still make it work.
Listen, you would think I'd be able to do it. Well, the next episode on the 16th, we will be covering the new story as well as anything else we know at that time about what's coming in version 3.0.
Or 2.8.
Or 2.8.
Because there is a second part to this patch.
Excellent.
Like the story definitely does not end here, and then 3.0 is next.
Got it. Doesn't it feel like to you kind of like it's a long off ramp from version 2.0 into 3.0. I think it was the same thing with version 1.0 and the 2.0. Like the narrative wrapped up and then like there's kind of like a longer than expected wait until the next version. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, I get what you're saying because I think, honestly, it was basically the exact same thing because the narrative wrapped up. Then we did the Astra Yao arc Then we did the Vivian Hugo arc. So
that's right. We had like the whole Hugo Vivian thing.
Yeah, that's what I was like, we kind of had the exact same thing where like they end the story, then they do Golden Carrot, and then they do
something dramatic.
Although this one is going to be actually 3 patches worth of stuff. Because
I'm not complaining. It just feels like a lot of like of us being like, all right, it's coming. All right, here it comes.
And it does
anytime now.
It feels deliberate of them like actually resetting, getting our bearings back into new Eridu, the vibe that they cultivated at the start, and like just like fully resetting everyone, giving everyone time to start for 3.0.
Perfect. We'll as we get there, we'll continue to kind of explore what's coming next. If you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, tell your friends. We should be on all major podcast catchers and also on YouTube. I have done a very bad job of doing all like the heuristics for our YouTube videos, but they are on there. Feel free to share those with friends.
Creator, refine me.
No, Bringer's back. No. You get out of here, Bringer. We're done with that bit.
Oh, man.
Go back to where you were.
I like the point where I randomly became Texan for no reason at all, because if your voice goes deep enough, it just goes deep south.
Go back to Dallas, Bringer.
Oh.